Let's welcome in Turron Davenport of ESPN.com. He covers the Tennessee Titans. Turron, I know you just dropped your daughters off, so
good stuff there.
I appreciate you making some time for us. Saw the news from one of your colleagues at ESPN, Field Yates, that Treylon Burks has officially signed with the Titans. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, he signed for the maximum that he can as a rookie wide receiver, correct?
Yeah, they have each draft slot has spotted amount, so yeah, he signed for, I believe, it is the maximum.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of Titans fans are going to be looking at every single move that Treylon makes, and there was a report from the Tennessean that you were talking about, and some other Titans beat reporters and sports radio people were talking about. Just kind of explain to our audience for Treylon, what has the first couple days of rookie minicamp been like for him as a transition?
Well, yeah, I mean, that report wasn't necessarily from the Tennessean. That was from multiple. I mean, I reported that as well. And it was just simply that Treylon Burks, he didn't make it through his first day of practice. There wasn't really too much of an issue with that. It just, the pollen here and the heat, like it got hot very quickly. And it just kind of, it got him, really, for lack of better terms. And he went through the half of individual period, and then he started to get a little fatigued, so they brought him inside, and they gave him an inhaler, and then they put ice on his neck, and that right there is a signal of a guy overheating. But he came back the next day, and he had a full practice. Everything was fine. He showed no signs of fatigue or being out of shape. He caught a couple passes from Malik Willis, one a very hard throw, laser, in between two defenders, and, you know, he snatched it up. He did have one drop, but, I mean, that wasn't fatigue. It was just concentration, and everything's fine with him. I don't think there's really a big issue. It is being overblown a little bit. I think he's fine.
You know, and heat's something you got to acclimate to, and I don't know what it's been like in Nashville, but I can tell you here in Arkansas, it's only been hot or warmer. I don't think it's hot yet by summer standards, but Toronto's only been warmer for about a week and a half now. So, I mean, if Treylon was preparing himself for these first workouts, there was no heat to acclimate yourself to. I don't know what it's been like there, but could that be at the root of this?
Yeah, I mean, it was reaching the 90s that day. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, that's definitely at the root of it. You know, and it heated up very quickly. So, like I said, I don't think there's any issues with Burks. There was a scout who said that he's 2 biscuits away from being a tight end. Well, I tell you what, you turn on the Alabama tape, and I see him running away from a lot of what people will call the top athletes in college football, you know, at Alabama, and he pulled away from them, no problem.
Yeah, considering the trade draft night, considering what are the expectations there locally from fans, from media, and this organization? What do they expect out of Burks in year one?
Well, they expect a guy who's going to come in and contribute immediately. This is a city that saw A.J. Brown have 100 yards in his first game as a Titan against the Cleveland Browns. You know, 4 receptions, like 103 yards and a touchdown. So that's something that they'll expect out of Burks, you know, an instant impact. I think when you look at the tape on him, it shows that he is a guy that's capable of doing that. It's just going to be a matter of getting him along. Obviously, the route running is something that you want to kind of expand, but if the offensive coordinator is able to, you know, just put him in different spots and put a nice package together and utilize him, he'll be fine.
You know, a lot of people focus on I'm sorry, go ahead. A lot of people are focusing in and know the names of Tannehill and Henry. Walk us inside the offensive line and some of the other wide receivers, and how much emphasis and focus is Treylon going to get from the opponent's defenses in maybe the coming year?
Yeah, so you'll have opposite Burks, you'll have Robert Woods, who's an established veteran. He played for the Bills, but most notably for the Rams, and he's had 90-plus receptions a couple times in his career. Then you have Austin Hooper, who they acquired via free agency, former Browns tight end. And then you look at the offensive line, they have one of the most popular offensive lineman, and Taylor Lewan. He has his own podcast. Left guard is something that's still kind of up in the air. The center is Ben Jones. Right guard is Nate Davis, and right tackle is up in the air. But I think, obviously, when you look at opposing defenses, how they're going to go about trying to stop the Titans, it's going to be all about stopping Derrick Henry, right? So he should get a lot of one-on-one matchups, Treylon Burks, that is, so that'll help him. And, I think when you look at, as I was talking about earlier, moving him around, before each snap to see where Treylon Burks is. I would expect the Titans to do the same thing. So that's one way that they can kind of get matchups and favorable situations for them.
Turron Davenport with us. He covers the Titans for ESPN.com here on the Morning Rush. Turron, I know you probably know this just from recently getting acclimated with Treylon, that guy loves to hunt and fish. And I lived in Nashville for over a year, and I've been to a couple places around, not just the Music City, but just kind of in Tennessee. There's some great spots. Do you got any recs for him, or is there a potential hog hunting opportunity where you get to join him up at some point when he's in Nashville?
Well, I mean, for me, my version of hunting is going to the market and getting the package off the shelf. So I'm not.
I'm with you,
I'm
man.
not in a situation where I can suggest a place, but that is something I've considered just for a story, to go on a trip with them, and that'll be kind of a baptism for me. I've never done it before, so we'll see what happens.
You're not interested in killing a hog with a knife?
No, and just like I told him at his first press conference, I said no pork on my fork, but it would be interesting just seeing the experience. Yeah,
Turron, one of the reasons that Treylon was such a beloved figure here is not only because of his production on the field, but he just fits in Arkansas, and Tennessee being a place where a lot of people like to hunt and fish. How much do you think Titans and really Tennessee fans will enjoy Treylon both on and off the field based on some of his hobbies?
Yeah, I think they really are going to enjoy him just from this perspective alone. These people here, they hate A.J. Brown after that situation. So the fact that he's coming in and he's the guy to quote-unquote replace A.J. Brown, they're going to love him because of that. But then just the fact that he fits like the I don't want to say demographic, but he does a lot of things that they like to do. I think that's going to really help out. But above all else, all he has to do is go out there and play, and he'll be in good shape.
All right, Turron, before we let you go, I'm actually heading to Nashville this weekend, and I frequented a bunch of hot chicken places, Hattie B's, Prince's, Party Fowl, and others for your money. And I know you're coming from Philly, home of the best cheesesteak in the world, but what is the best hot chicken place for Turron Davenport's money?
I like Hattie B's, honestly. Prince's it's just heat to me. You know what I mean? Hattie B's, at least they have some seasoning with it. So I'll point you in that direction. But I will say this. Go to 5th and Broadway. It's a nice little drop development, I guess you could call it, right there across the street from Bridgestone Arena. And you'll find plenty of places in there. There is a Hattie B's as well.
Yeah, I've heard that's an awesome new spot. Well, Turron, we appreciate it. I know, again, you just dropped off your daughter, so you're kind of pulling double duty with us, so we really appreciate you making some time for us.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you guys having me on anytime.
All right.
Great stuff from Turron Davenport, who, again, covers the Titans for ESPN.com.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.